The Princess Mouse.
Once upon a time, there was a farmer with 2 sons. One day, the farmer told his sons,
According to our custom, a man has to cut down a tree, go in the direction the tree falls, find his own bride, and ask her to weave a beautiful cloth. Then the man should bring the cloth back to his father to prove that she is a suitable bride. Now it's time for you to go.
The older son walked toward a farm. The younger son, Miko, walked toward a forest. Miko came to a cottage, but found no one there. He was sad. Suddenly, a small voice came to him.
Don't be so sad. I can be your bride. I'm a special mouse.
Miko felt pity for the mouse.
All right, but you have to weave a cloth for me. I have to bring it back to my father,
said Miko. As Miko fell asleep, the mouse sang a lovely song for him and started to weave the cloth. The next day, when Miko's father saw the beautiful cloth, he said,
I can't wait to see your bride.
At that moment, 4 rats pulled a little carriage out. The little mouse was in it.
How can you marry a mouse?
Shouted Miko's brother. He kicked the carriage into the river.
What have you done? She may be a mouse, but she is still my bride. I love her,
cried Miko. Something surprising happened. 4 horses pulled a big carriage out of the river. A lovely princess was in it. The princess was cursed by a witch before. The spell could be broken only when she found someone who truly loved her. Miko and the princess lived happily ever after.
The 3 boxes.
Once upon a time, there was a poor woman living with her daughter Anna in a cottage. One day, Anna met a hungry old man. He smelled stinky, and no one wanted to get close to him. Anna had a kind heart. She shared her food with the old man. To show his thanks, he gave Anna 3 boxes and told her not to open them until after 3 years. Three years later, Anna's mother passed away. Anna had a stepmother, but she treated Anna badly. One day, the stepmother asked Anna to make a dress for her. It must be as shiny as the sun. Anna felt troubled. Suddenly, she thought of the 3 boxes. She opened one of them. And there was a dress in the box. It was as shiny as the sun. The stepmother happily put on the dress, but further asked for a yummy breakfast. Anna opened the second box, and there was a yummy breakfast in it. The stepmother enjoyed her breakfast, but further asked for a crystal castle. It must be as high as a mountain. The next day, Anna opened the third box. To her surprise, the 3 boxes all disappeared, and a crystal castle appeared in front of her. It was as high as a mountain. The stepmother ran up the stairs, but slipped and fell down. Anna climbed the stairs to the top. She met a prince there. They got married and lived happily ever after.
David and Goliath.
David was a shepherd boy. He lived in Israel with his older brothers. His job was to watch over sheep. He was brave. He often saved his sheep from bears and lions. His older brothers were soldiers. They were preparing for a battle, but their enemies were strong. It was not easy to win the battle. One day, David brought lunch to his brothers. When he got there, he saw a huge enemy. His name was Goliath.
Who is the strongest soldier in Israel? Let's fight!
Shouted Goliath. But no one dared to take this challenge. Even the king was afraid of Goliath. At night, David came to the king and said,
I want to take this challenge.
Are you crazy? You're just a boy,
said the king.
I may look young, but my God will protect me. And I fought with bears and lions before,
said David. The next morning, David met Goliath with 5 stones and a slingshot. Goliath laughed at him.
Ha 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 ha! How dare you come here, boy?
Asked Goliath.
because I want to protect my people as I protected my sheep before,
said David. Immediately, David took a stone, put it on his slingshot, and slung it at Goliath.
Ouch! My eyes hurt! I can't see anything!
Cried Goliath. David quickly beat him with a club. Goliath fainted and fell down. The other enemies ran away when they saw David win the battle. David became a hero in Israel.
A Moroccan folktale.
In Morocco, there was a young man living alone with his father. They were rich. Before the young man's father passed away, he told his son,
When you decide it's time to get married, go to ask my best friend. He will find you a perfect bride.
The day was coming. The perfect bride was brought to a chamber. A heavy stone was put outside the chamber, so the door could only be opened a little. His father's best friend said,
If you can move the stone, she will be your bride. If you fail, she will be sent back home.
The young man went to the chamber and heard his favorite childhood song. When he peered through the half-open door, he saw a lovely woman in silk robes. He tried to push the stone aside, but he couldn't move it. He was sad and had to let the bride return to her family. A few days later, another bride was found and brought to the chamber. This time, the woman was dancing as she was humming his favorite tune. The young man tried to move the stone, but he couldn't do it. He was sad and had to let the bride return to her family. few weeks later, a third match was arranged. This time, the woman was dressed in peasant clothing. She was sewing a quilt as she was humming his favorite tune. He tried to push the stone aside, but he still couldn't move it. He was sad and realized all three were the same bride. Suddenly, a figure slipped through the crack of the door.
"Let me help you move the stone,"
said the bride. Together, they moved the stone aside. The young man finally found his perfect one, the beautiful, wise and kind bride.
The Legend of CHONGMING Island. A long time ago, there was a village in China. Some people were kind, but more people were selfish. CHONGMING was a boy. He lived with his mother. They were honest and kind to other people. One day, an old man came to this village to sell oil. Because his eyesight was poor, he couldn't measure the amount of oil correctly. He let people pay on their own, according to the amount of oil they drew. Many selfish people cheated the old man. They drew more oil than they claimed, so his oil quickly sold out. When the old man was ready to leave the village, CHONGMING ran toward him and said,
"I'm sorry, sir. I need to return the extra oil to you. My mother told me the amount of oil is more than 1 caddy."
The old man was happy after he heard CHONGMING's words.
"Good boy! A flood will come to this village. Run away with your mother quickly and hide in the mountains,"
said the old man. CHONGMING rushed home and cried out to his village people.
"Run away quickly! A flood is coming!"
The selfish people laughed at him and refused to leave home. Only the kind people ran away with CHONGMING. Suddenly, it began to rain. CHONGMING carried his mother on his back and ran quickly. As soon as he arrived at the top of the mountain, he was very tired and passed away. The village turned into an island after the flood ended. People named it CHONGMING Island in memory of the honest, brave boy. This island is now at the mouth of the Yangtze River.